Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. As you can tell by today's video, it is the U.S. Winter Forecast 2019-2020. There is a lot of things to talk about. I mean, you can see this is a whole, each region has each specific thing, and I have a reasoning as to why, and I will be going over each region one by one in this today's video, so stay tuned and, really consider watching this video. And this is again the U.S. Winter Forecast 2019-2020. I think this is either my third or fourth update about the winter forecast, but I haven't changed that too much on the forecast. Again, I have pretty high confidence in this forecast, so it wouldn't make sense if I changed too much. Consider subscribing to this channel. It looks like that, the red button. If you're not subscribed, click on it and then you're subscribed, and it is free. It's really helpful for this channel, helps this channel grow, and lets me know that you like these type of videos. And also consider leaving a comment and constructive criticism, a compliment about the forecast, any of that good stuff, and consider leaving a like. So let's talk about this U.S. winter forecast. So as you can see, the furthest area to the north, Minnesota, Wisconsin, UP of Michigan, Indiana, northern Indiana, northwestern Ohio, northern Illinois, Ohio, South Dakota, and North Dakota, all of those areas are under Arctic blasts. I think that this year will be similar to last year in terms of the cold. If you recall, the northern plains were very cold last year, and I think this year it may repeat itself. Maybe not so drastic, that one Arctic outbreak that we had in January, but more often, because last year we had a little bit infrequent Arctic outbreaks, but once they did come, they were horrendously big and horrendously strong, bringing temperatures down to -25, -30, -40 in some locations. This year we may see that again. I'm not excluding that, but I definitely think it will be more more often and more common throughout the winter than what we saw last year. So very cold for the northern plains this year, it seems. As you can see, for this this purple region kind of extending from Montana, Wyoming, and Nebraska into Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, and then up through Pennsylvania. That little strip, I think it's going to be snow and cold. Definitely some of the air from the Arctic blast region will definitely filter down into those areas. Maybe just not as cold, maybe a little bit, less intense, but definitely still the snow will be there. I think there could be a lot of snowstorms that are going to be riding just south of that jet stream that's going to be bringing the cold air in the first place. So let me draw this out. The jet stream is going to be doing something like this, and you can see that along, south of jet streams or along jet streams, usually big storms ride. And if if the cold is plentiful enough, then we could definitely be seeing some heavy snow across these areas. Possibly the jackpot of the snow this year, somewhere along those in those purple areas, those dark maroon color areas. Now let's move on to the northeast, and you can see for the interior parts of the northeast, I just did cold, but I didn't really want to do cold plus snow yet again for this location, but I think they will be very snowy this year as well. But the cold air will be probably a little bit more bothersome than the snow. That's why I just decided to highlight that region as cold instead of snowy, because that region will definitely get plenty of snow, or definitely will get plenty of snow. I mean, they will get probably above average without a doubt. It's just that the cold will be probably more bothersome. As you can see, this Arctic blast, if this were to continue, if it wasn't for the Great Lakes and Canadian border, we would be definitely seeing the Arctic air purple extend into here, but it may get a little bit lessened by, again, those warmer lakes, but we'll have to see. And at this point, I just left it at cold, but snow is definitely gonna be a problem or a gift if you love snow. As well. Blizzards for the northeast. I think that this year, unlike last year, we could be looking at some large systems. Very large systems seem to be forming and going up the east coast, and that's also to do with the neutral end zone, neutral pattern. You can see the blizzards across the northeast. We see New York, Boston, states like Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, cities like Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Baltimore. All those locations, I think, have a good chance of seeing, at least one storm that's going to bring like 15 to 20 inches. Maybe not like a super mega snowstorm like we had in 2016, because those things just, everything literally has to be in a way just to favor that. I mean, that was just the circumstances came together like no other. Will that happen again? I'm not excluding it, obviously, but I think there will be smaller ones. Smaller, still intense, but there will be more of them. So I think the Northeast coast is in for a historic winter as well. The chilly plus snowy area, this blue through Mid-South, I would say, the Mid-South Oklahoma, Southern Missouri, Northern Arkansas, Southern Tennessee, Northern Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. I think definitely some of that cold from the north will definitely still infiltrate, and relatively speaking, it will be snowy. So now what does that mean? It obviously won't be as snowy as it will be in the Northeast. You won't be seeing 30, 40 inches of snow in one snowstorm, which I think is a possibility for the Northeast. But you may, some locations in southern Missouri, southern Kansas, towards the northern area of this light blue, may be looking at, way above average snowfall. 20 to 30 inches above average, and even places like central Alabama and Georgia are maybe seeing 5 to 10 inches above average in terms of snow. All we need is a couple of snowstorms, or just one snowstorm, frankly, just to pound those areas with some heavy snow, like we've definitely seen in years past with similar patterns like we're expecting this year. And we could be looking at a overall very snowy winter. And again, of course, I think that chill will get down in there. And anywhere you see that pink, southern Georgia, mid Georgia, I would say mid to southern Georgia, mid to southern Alabama, mid Mississippi, northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, extreme southern Oklahoma, and northern Texas will be looking at the battleground. So this could, mean that if it's colder than expected, it could be that could turn into a snowy area with a couple of, maybe just one snowstorm that brings in quite a good dose of snow, and it could be chilly or cold, quite frankly frigid as well for those areas, relatively speaking. But if it's a little bit warmer than expected, those areas may be a little bit warmer and maybe not see much snow, if at all. And if you go further down to the south, you see that wet green area. I just think it will be a little bit above average precip, and again, it will be just I don't think it'll get cold enough really to get snow down south there, unless again we could see maybe a freak Arctic outbreak that and the nose of it has like a snowstorm, and that brings a little bit of snow for the south. Will that happen? We don't know. I think it's a possibility. But for now, I just left it as wet, meaning rather no snow, especially. And, even if there were snow to occur in this area, it would be just extreme northern portions of this. I mean, Florida most likely would not see snow. Maybe extreme northern Florida would see the snowflakes. That's about it. Then we move on to the west. We see a good location or good region just saying average. And I think that will be it could be almost like a battleground between the really eastern, chilly side of the U.S., the snowy, chilly, or frigid area in the east, and the warmer area in the west. And these locations, if you live in Colorado, it could be a snowy winter if the polar vortexes or the axis of the heaviest cold shift a little bit towards the west. But if the warm gets a little bit more oppressive, then this may just be a below average in terms of snow and above average in terms of temperatures. But for now, I just left it as average. The northwest, that's the interesting one. I just left it as possible cold because we've been seeing a pattern right now that is favorable for a negative PNA, and that is basically when that jet stream dips into the northwest and leaves. We had that big snowstorm a couple days ago in September, earliest record snow up to 4 feet in Montana. That could happen several times throughout the winter, where we see these freak little outbreaks while the east is warm or retreating from an Arctic chill. The west may get very chilly and very cold, and that could be a little bit interesting, making the winter be pretty cold and snowy for those areas. If you live in Seattle, Oregon, I know you always want to know whether you're going to see snow or heavy snow. Usually they see, I think, 1 or 2 inches. They may end up seeing 0, but they may end up also seeing up to 10. And I wouldn't say that for Illinois or Wisconsin. I would say if your average in Illinois is 40, you're most likely going to see 50 or 60. In Washington or in Seattle, Oregon, or Portland, It's tough to say, honestly. It depends how the winter plays out. And in the southwest, you can see I have warm, just warm yellow colors, and orange. I think it'll be above average temperature. Now, with these above average temperatures, I'm not sure exactly. It's hard to predict whether it will be above or below average precip, because there's just, usually that would mean a neutral pattern would mean some below average precipitation, but we've seen years where it's been very, very moist for the west when it was predicted to be dry. And at this point, I'm just going to leave it at warm. I think it'll be pretty warm, but maybe not, dry. Hopefully not. But at this point, the drought is basically, it's basically eliminated, so it's not going to be too meaningful. And here's the temperature outlook. If you just want a quick look at the temperatures, where I think the coldest temperatures will be, I have like almost 100% confidence these areas will be rather chilly. You could see the northern plains are in the purple, the stronger blue, the darker blue is a little bit less cold, and the lightest blue is the least cold, but still pretty below average. The white colors could go either way, but especially the south, I would say they'd rather go towards the blue, and the northwest could also turn easily to the blue. The southwest, I gave the orange and yellow colors a pretty good area. I mean, you could say extended it into Utah, Nevada. This is pretty liberal in terms of me giving them a lot of warmth. Maybe this will occur. I think they may be a little bit more suppressed to the south, and the cold air may be a little bit further to the south. And you can see the southeast, I just included extreme portions of the southeast, like Florida, and extreme portions of Alabama, Georgia, and Louisiana, seeing some above average temperatures. And this is what the snowfall outlook is, in my opinion. I think it'll be snowy across a good portion of this country, especially across the north, the northeast, the mid-Atlantic, and possibly into the south again, with those big snowstorms potentially occurring at the nose of an Arctic outbreak. The west, I just left it blank for now. Maybe below average for the west, but that wouldn't really make sense, because usually most locations in the west are mountains that see snow, and mountains are usually cold enough to see snow even when it's above average season. So I just left it as blank. And in the northwest, I left it as blank for now as well, but I easily, this easily could turn into a blue location as well for above average snowfall. And then basically this is just showing you why my reasoning. The Enso neutral is most likely to continue, and this is what an Enso neutral looks like. You can see cold throughout the east, wet and warm throughout the south. And then I include a couple more factors like sea surface temperatures, which there's plenty of evidence showing from similar winters like the 2013-2014 winter to be a repeat of. And you can see this one was a very, very chilly winter, and that's my forecast is kind of representing that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Consider liking the video, consider subscribing to the channel. I'll catch you all guys on the next episode. See ya. Bye.